going to be blurry. So what you'll have to do, if you look at your screen, you think that looks a bit strange, it's a bit blurry and it's not formatting properly, you're going to have to watch this on YouTube Live. I'll put the link to the YouTube Live feed into the chat, or you can just go directly to YouTube and just type in OET and you should see it. Should see it there. Okay, there I am on YouTube. Hello, people on YouTube. I hope you're all going well. Hello, Ali Ahmed from the UK. Nice to see you. Excellent. I'm glad you can see me clearly. That's good. For the rest of you, I'm popping that link into the chat there. Hello, Nidish. Nice to see you as well. Well, in fact, I can't see you. All I can see is a name, but that's okay. It's a school of the future, this one. Hello. Whoa. I can't pronounce that name. I'll just call you by your surname, which is Manikat. Hello, Rajeshwari. Vera. Vera's in the UK. It must be early in the UK. Hello. Yes, lots of people. Saudi Arabia, India. How cool. This is amazing. Good stuff. All right. We're about to get started. What we're going to do specifically, just let me check things happening on YouTube Live, which they don't seem to be. Why have I only got 2 people? Usually there's about 200 people. Strange. Anyway, hopefully that will pick up. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. That's cool though. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. All right, cool. I think we're about to get started. Hello, everybody. It's lovely. Is it lovely to see you? It's not lovely to, I mean, it's lovely to see. I can't see you. I'm just here looking at a camera, but I can imagine that I'm seeing it. And thanks very much for coming along. My name is Jay. I'm one of the expert OET teachers here at E2 Language. E2 Language is a premium preparation provider for OET preparation. If you do need help, and maybe you're not living close to a school, or you think you'd just like to try online preparation, which, by the way, is, I would say it's probably more effective than a school. You can check out e2language.com. What we're going to do in this live mock test / class is look at OET reading part B. We're going to do some practice, like a little mini mock test. Just before we get into that though, if you're taking OET 2.0 from September onwards, then you may want to go to the OET official website, which is occupationalenglishTest.org. And if you click on that button that says prepare, and if you then hover over the little button here that says from September 2018, you'll see this little button here that says Start for Success package. Now, the Start for Success package for OET 2.0, which is on the official OET website, was in fact created by us, e2language.com. So yes, I won't say any more. You can judge what you think about that, but I think that's a very good thing. So you may want to sign up for that. That's if you're taking the test in September for OET 2.0. Now, what you'll find in that Start for Success package is a bunch of overview videos that will describe very clearly what OET 2.0 is all about, because the reading and the listening subtests are changing quite significantly, okay? You'll also find some methods lessons there for the new reading and listening subtests, as well as some bits and pieces that you'll also find very interesting. So we'll certainly bring you up to speed with what the new test changes are. So do check out that official website, occupationalenglishTest.org. Click on prepare, go to from September, and then click on Start for Success. Now, OET 2.0 for the September test, E2 Language will launch its official preparation course on August the 13th. This is 1 month prior to the September test. So if you're taking OET 2.0, you can sign up from August the 13th to our 2.0 course. If you would like to sign up sooner and start to focus on writing and speaking, you can just go to our current website, sign up for OET 1.0, because writing and speaking are exactly the same. Then come August the 13th, we will transfer you over to our OET 2.0 course, so you can then start to focus on the reading and the listening subtests, the new ones. Cool. Anyway, if you have any questions about that, I'll answer them at the end of this live class. What we want to focus on today, though, is OET reading part B, which goes for 45 minutes in your OET tests. You'll have 2 reading texts about medical topics, nothing too technical, just general medical topics. This will be applicable for all of the professions. Now, each of these texts will come with about 10 multiple choice questions each. The multiple choice questions will have 4 answer options each. There's no negative marking in this section of the test, so if you don't know, you should guess, and all you'll have to do is mark A, B, C, or D on your answer sheet. What else do I want to say about this? Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. It's pretty straightforward. Let's go through and do 4, I think there are 4 or 5 practice questions before we do a Q&A at the end of this. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say this. If you're getting a low reading score in OET, it may not be because of reading part A. Reading part A is worth 33%, while reading part B is worth 66%, twice as many marks. The reason why people focus on reading part A so much is because that it's kind of scary and the time moves so quickly. But in fact, you may not be doing so well in reading part B. Reading part B is different to reading part A in this regard. Reading part A is about speed reading, scan reading, finding information, Reading part B, you have plenty of time, about 2 minutes per question, to deep read more complicated texts. Okay, so what we're going to do in this little mini mock test is we're going to look at some different question types. I'm going to put you under pressure to see if you can answer the questions for yourself before we look at the answers at the end with some explanation. Let's do question 1. Okay, now because there are about 20 questions and you have 45 minutes, you should be spending about 2 minutes per question. So you can see from that time, you have plenty of time to read the paragraph deeply. In fact, you have enough time to read the paragraph probably several times. Here's a little method that I want to share with you. I want you to try this with the next question. Perhaps it'll work, perhaps it won't. It works with some questions. What I want you to do is to forget the answer options. I want you to first read the question prompt, read the question prompt, then read the text. I don't want you to be distracted by the answer options. So if this says paragraph 1 supports the hypothesis that, okay, you're going to be reading this and thinking, okay, what's the hypothesis or what's the research suggesting here? Then when you think you have the idea, okay, here's you're like, yes, I've got the idea. Then you go, is it that one? Is it that one? Is it that one? Or is it that one? And what you're doing is you're confirming your own understanding of this text here rather than being distracted by the answer options. Also, just before I do that, let me just check everything's okay on, yeah, everything's cool on YouTube Live. We've got 156 people and we got 52 people in the Zoom. That's over 200 people. Excellent. Let's keep going. Let's see if you can get 5 out of 5, guys. Back to it. One more after this. Here we go. Question 2. Okay. Question number 3. On to the next one. Okie dokie. How's it going there? Let's have a look. All right, getting a variety of different answers here into the chat. So that's kind of a good sign. It means the test that I've created isn't too easy. You're not all getting the same answer. And people are still hanging out on YouTube Live. That's good. You're not bored. You haven't gone to watch cat videos. That's cool. Just let me check how many questions we have left. 4, 5, 2 questions left. All right, we can do this. Let's push on and do the question 4. Here we go. And the final question, question number 5, is a vocabulary in context question. All right, you've just answered 5 questions. So imagine on test day that you have another 15 questions or so. So you can see it's quite taxing. Those 2 minutes spent deep reading the question prompt, the text, the answer options, it will certainly tax your energy. But what you've done is fantastic practice for the real thing. What the real thing requires of you is to actually sit there and do that, to put your head down, put the timer on, and to work through some real practice questions like this under pressure. Cool, so well done for doing that. Let's go through the answers and see how you did now. Let's look at question 1, which asked, according to paragraph 1, the research supports the hypothesis that, so what you're doing is understanding this paragraph and matching it to one of these here. the answer here is D, so it's 1D. So improving people's fitness may improve their brain health. And that came specifically from this top sentence here, that more evidence that exercise improves brain health and could be life-saving ingredient that prevents Alzheimer's disease. That's the sort of hypothesis that matches this one here. Question 2 asked, which of the following is not true? So 3 of these would be true, okay? So 3 of these are mentioned in the paragraph and they're true. One of them is mentioned, but it is not true. This is a question type that you will see on test day. This one requires you to eliminate correct answer options, which is a little bit unintuitive because usually we eliminate incorrect answer options. So the answer, in fact, is A. This is the one that is not true. The study participants had advanced stage Alzheimer's disease. Now, it says something about participants. Oh, here we go. Dr. Ding's team enrolled older patients at high risk of developing Alzheimer's disease who have early signs of memory loss. They are not at an advanced stage of Alzheimer's disease. So this is the one that is not true. This one was in fact mentioned. This one was mentioned and true. This one was mentioned and true. So you should have got 2A. Here we go. Question number 3 asked, which of the following is true? This means that 3 of the answer options would be contradictory to what is mentioned in the text. And one of them would be, well, would say the same thing, but in different words. And that is in fact B. Scientists measured brain function via a battery of tests. Maybe you haven't seen this phrase here, battery of tests. It's a little bit of a scientific term. What's it called when you do this? Psychometric testing uses battery of tests. So where does it say that? It says, okay, here. Patients were then given memory and other cognitive tests, or just a battery of tests to measure brain function. Scientists measured brain function via a battery of tests. This one was the correct one. These ones were mentioned but were contradictory or somewhat wrong. Question number 4 asked, which of the following would make the best title for paragraph 4? Now, is this one a part of the real OET test? I think it might be. I can't quite remember correctly. I remember writing this a long time ago. I may have seen a question once upon a time that asked something like this. Basically, what this is asking you is, what's the main idea of this paragraph? And you'll certainly get a question in the OET that asks you, what's the main idea here? Okay, this is another way of asking you what's the main idea of the paragraph. So even if it's not this specific question type, it'll be something similar. So is the main idea of this paragraph that a command and a few lingering mysteries, or a good title rather, would be a command and a few lingering mysteries? Would a good title be The Strangeness of Human Health, a 5-year plan, the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease? The answer is A, a command and a few lingering mysteries. Let me tell you why. Here's the command or mandate. Here's the synonym. Exercise regularly, and a few lingering mysteries are mentioned here. What fitness level? And there's another mystery here, etc. So that would make the best title. Last question, question number 5. This is a vocabulary in context question. So it's asking you what this word intertwined means. Now, it's asking you what this word means in the context of this paragraph. In order to find the answer to this one, we have to read back a sentence, okay? And it says this. It involves more than 600 older adults at high risk to develop Alzheimer's disease. Sorry, it starts here. Quote, evidence suggests that what is bad for your heart is bad for your brain. We need studies like this to find out how the two are intertwined. So here, the word intertwined refers back to bad for your heart and bad for your brain. The dichotomy between exercise and mental health, the association between cardiovascular and cognitive decline? Well, in fact, that's the answer there. The answer is, for number 5, is B. How did you go? Just put into the chat, please, what you got out of 5. I want to know how you guys did. What did you get? What did you get? What did you get? Cool. Okay. 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 4, 5. Now, I don't want to alarm you, but the questions you just saw were comparatively easier than the real OET. Okay. In the actual OET, the test questions are slightly, somewhat harder than that. Okay. So just be prepared that on test day, you're going to open that up and some of the questions you're going to go like, whoa, what's going on here? Not in terms of the question type, because the question types are quite regular and you'll know what you need to be reading for, but the content and the distractors, the other multiple choice answer options will, well, might make your head spin a little bit, but you can do it. With practice and a good preparation course, you can certainly do it. That's why you should go check out e2language.com. If you're taking OET 2.0, just remember our course will be up on August 13. You can go and sign up for the Start for Success package on the official OET website now. Or if you're planning to take this test in August, or yes, you can sign up to e2language.com. Now, anyway, I'm going to hang around for 10 or 15 minutes or so to answer your questions. I'm going to start with questions for people in the Zoom webinar, and then I'll answer questions on YouTube Live. Santosh J, in OET's new 2.0 test in September, is the reading easier? I don't think it's easier, Santosh, but it's less confusing, which probably makes it, well, it's different. It's not so much easier. What I mean by less confusing is what you need to do in terms of the tasks is more straightforward. The current reading part A, you know, this current reading part A where you have the 4 texts and you have to fill out the summary and you have to transform the words. It's pretty confusing in 15 minutes. The new reading part A, it's still quite full on, intense, like you still have to do a lot of speed reading and whatnot, but the question types themselves are more straightforward. So in terms of the way that they're testing you, I think it's better. In terms of the challenge, I think it's probably pretty similar. Yeah, better test. I think OET 2.0 is a better test. I don't think you guys should be afraid of OET 2.0. It's a nice test. It's an improvement on the current test, I believe. Ali, in listening part B, I found a question like this. How can you prevent X disease by X, by Y, by Z? My question is, how can I answer this type of question? Should I tick the correct one, underline, or something else? The instruction should tell you, it should say circle, probably circle. You need to, with any English language test, you should be so familiar with what you're going to do that you don't need to read the instructions on test day. If you find yourself reading the instructions on test day, then you're in trouble because it's going to put you under pressure and it's going to waste time. So you should be able to walk into OET. I understand this question might be a little bit different because this is a bit of a unique question, but you should be able to walk into your test and know exactly what to do and know exactly what question types they are just by looking and go, yes, this one's a which one is not true question, or this is a vocabulary and context question, or for listening, well, let's just say listening, the new OET test, you won't be put under this pressure. Amali, please let me know how to prepare for reading. Well, 2 things you need to prepare for OET reading. 1, yes, you need practiced tests. 3 things you need. Let me go through them in order. You need skill building. So you need to make sure that your vocabulary is broad enough, your vocabulary is deep enough. Second thing after that, once you've got your fundamental skills sorted out, you will need methods because you need to know how to approach different question types, especially for reading part A. You can't just walk in on test day and expect to do reading part A well. You need to know exactly how to go about it, the approach, the method. And the third thing you need after the method is practice tests to apply the method to, so you can get faster and faster. So that's those three covered, which, by the way, are all on e2language.com. In OET, which module is taken first, second, third, and fourth? I actually don't know. I've taken the IELTS, I've taken the TOEFL, and I've taken the PTE, but I have not taken the OET test. So if somebody can please put in the order of the way the test is taken for, I'll read that out in a minute. Rose, Jay, is it okay if I include the following in my introduction in writing? Reason for writing, request or action required, date of admission, main medical issue, patient's current status? No, absolutely not. Stop. You need to stop. You can't go into the writing test thinking I'm going to structure my letter like this, because the task and the case notes require you to have a flexible structure in mind. Maybe you'll include that, maybe not. Maybe the patient knows the recipient. Maybe the patient doesn't know the recipient. Maybe you're writing a discharge letter, which would change it completely, in which case they don't need the discharge or admission date. Maybe you're writing a transfer letter and it's an emergency, so a lot of things become redundant. You need to get rid of, no, I shouldn't say that. You have a broad structure in mind, right? In your introduction, you should write the reason for writing and probably the request. That's about it though. Apart from that, you need to do your thinking on test day about structure and organization. The biggest reason people fail OET writing is because they go in with a set structure, right? And the task is asking them to do one thing and they're doing something else. And so the OET examiners will mark you down. Those of you who are courageous enough, I guess it requires a little bit of courage to not memorize something, to go in and go, you know what? I feel prepared. I've done lots of practice. I know how to write the various letters. On test day, I'm going to read the task very carefully, and I'm going to structure my letter and organize it according to the task, according to the reader of the letter, according to the profession of the letter, according to the type of letter, and according to the main medical issue. Those of you who do that will get a good score. Those of you who memorize a structure will struggle. Farina, I'm a gold member. Will my course be updated according to the new changes in reading and listening? Yes, it will. We will transfer you on August the 13th. Everyone who's a current OET member for the 1.0 test, or maybe you want to prepare a bit further out, as soon as August 13 happens and 1.0 test becomes obsolete, we'll transfer everybody across to OET 2.0. It's free of charge. So if you feel like you want to sign up now to start preparing for writing and speaking, you can do that. Ali, you might want to send your message to help.e2language.com. Jay, this reading task that we just did, the 5 questions, is that from OET 1.0 or OET 2.0? Well, it's actually, I guess you could say it's from both. There's a new current reading part B is almost identical to the new reading part C, okay? It's a very similar task. Mutasim, in regards to reading part B, is the first passage easier than the second passage? No, they're about the same. Ram, what do you look at in reading part B, as there is no variety of multiple choice questions? I disagree. There is a variety. There's a few different question types. There's the which one is true, which one is not true, vocabulary and context. I can't remember the rest off the top of my head, but there's a lesson on YouTube which is reading part B question types. I'm pretty sure. If not, it's in the E2 language platform. Okay, I'm just reading some questions here. Jay, in speaking, do we have to make eye contact, or can we just keep looking at the role play card? Well, you are not marked on your body language, but you are marked on how much you pay attention to the listener. That means that if you're distracted and you're focused on yourself and you're focused on the role play card, you'll probably get a lower mark. You really do need to participate in a conversation. Although it's a speaking test, it very much requires you to listen very carefully to the speaker, because one of the things you're marked on is your ability to respond appropriately. If you're not paying attention to somebody, you can't respond appropriately. So what I suggest you do with the role play card is hold it. I mean, you will have to hold it anyway. You're doing several things at once. You're paying attention to the speaker. You'll be looking down at the role play card to know which task is coming up next. It might be something like talk to them about their dietary needs. And you say, okay, Mrs. Smith, now how are you going with food? Are you able to cook for yourself? You'll be listening then. Then you'll be responding, reading, speaking, responding, listening. It sort of goes around in a bit of a circle like that. It's, yeah. So anyway, respond appropriately. Jay, can I write and underline keywords on the reading and listening task paper? Yes, you can. City, what score do we need to get in order to read grade B? I don't, like, if there are 65 questions, how many do I need to get a B? I don't know the answer, and I think it depends on test day. Jay, I'm afraid of OET 2.0. Is it easier or harder? I think it's better. I think it's better. I don't think you should be afraid of it. I think it's a better test. Yeah. Even if you're, look, what's going to happen is a lot of you, and I don't want to sound rude, but a lot of people do fail the OET test. I think it's got a failure rate. Let's just say it's got a very high failure rate, okay? So let's say you've been preparing very carefully, and you take the test in August for OET 1.0 and you don't get the score you want. And then you think, oh no, I have to prepare for OET 2.0 and I've spent all this time preparing for 1.0. Don't worry about it. It won't take you that long. Plus the E2 language materials are really good. They show you exactly what the tasks look like, what you have to do, and they give you practice materials so you can then just start doing it. Won't take you long at all. Plus, we'll be giving live classes on YouTube especially in the month leading up to the September test. So, by the way, that reminds me, if you're not a subscriber, click the subscribe button down there, because we'll be delivering a lot of live classes about OET 2.0, telling people how to prepare, what it looks like, all of that. It's a better test, trust me. Nidesh, how to prepare for speaking. Well, check out the E2 language website. The methodologies we teach are excellent. Jay, can I write? I've already answered that one. Jay, in listening part A, when I'm taking notes, can I use abbreviations? Only very common medical abbreviations like shortness of breath or SOB, for example, that are internationally known. Just be careful with abbreviations because they're often sort of geographically different, and just keep in mind that your exams are being marked here in Australia. Is it okay to write frequency of medications in short form, like OD, once a day, TID, etc.? It depends on who you're writing to. If you're a doctor writing to another doctor, sure. If you're a doctor writing to a parent, no. If you're a nurse writing to an administrator of a nursing home, possibly. I don't know. Again, you'll need to use your professional experience to think about that. Jay, I found a writing task that was like this. Write a letter to the occupational therapist for assessment of Mr. X's workplace and advice on how to perform his duties. Interesting. Now, it may be an information letter. There are 4 main types of letters. The most common one that you'll get on test day is a referral letter, okay? I think this is the same for all professions. Maybe it's different. I think there are some professions where you won't be writing a referral letter because you're the one that always gets the referred patients. But anyway, for doctors and nurses, let's say, and dentists, referral letters will be the most common form of letter. Then you'll get, it'll be between discharge and transfer. And the fourth type of letter you might have to write is like an information letter, which is uncommon, but possible. An information letter might be writing to parents at a school, advising them on how to care for their children's chicken pox or something like that, okay? What's the difference between a referral, discharge, transfer letter? Well, referral is a professional to an expert. Discharge is when somebody's been in your clinic or hospital and you're sending them back to where they came from. So like maybe they've been in the emergency department, you're discharging them with a letter to take to their GP the following day. Transfer letter, maybe you're writing from one department to the next, so emergency department to whatever, some other department. Yeah. In speaking, do I score poorly if I take a minute to organize my thoughts, or do I have to respond immediately? Well, you have 2 minutes to prepare, to read the role play card, to ask some questions. Once the role play starts, though, you can't be silent. It's like a real workplace setting where you need to have a conversation. Okay, yeah. Jay, in OET Listening 2.0, there are a lot of multiple choice questions, especially in part C. Yeah, okay. OET Listening part C for 2.0 requires you to listen to a lecture or an interview and answer a series of multiple choice questions. The most difficult thing about it is understanding where you're up to, right? Because you sort of have to follow the lecture and at the same time follow the multiple choice questions systematically. The good thing is how it works is there'll be a section of lecture or interview where we'll focus on question one, for example. Then there'll be a bit of back and forth about nothing, and then you can do it. You can do it. It's just a bit of practice and understanding how to do that. Cool. Okay. All right. A few questions from YouTube Live. Jay, in writing, is the phrase, "I am writing to refer Mr. Smith into your care," is that enough as the purpose as to why you are writing to the recipient? Probably not. It depends on the task. I think you'd want to be a little bit more detailed than that. Writing to refer this patient into your care, because why? They want to know immediately. Actually, this is a really critical point with writing. You need to prioritize, which means lift to the top of the letter the important information. So that in that introductory paragraph or sentence, you should be writing what the main medical issue is. The reader shouldn't have to read down the letter to find out why you're writing to him or her, what the main medical issue is. Jay, is OET 2.0 listening easier than the current one? It's hard to say. I think it's better. I think that's the answer to that one. It's better. Okay, here's a question, a general question. I might finish with this one if that's okay. I hope you don't mind. There's 200 people, so I can't answer all of your questions. Jay, OET is a good choice for nursing in Australia. According to your experience, is OET better for nurses than PTE or IELTS? The answer is, if your English is already very good, like native-like, then it doesn't really matter which test you take, to be honest. I think the good thing about, let me finish that. If your English is not so good, then the big difference and why I do think that the OET is better for medical professionals is because of vocabulary. I mean, you're writing a letter based on your professional understanding. You're not writing an essay on space exploration in Mars or, something abstract like global warming, right? So the big plus for OET candidates is that vocabulary will be more familiar to you. Grammar, listening, reading, they're all pretty hard, but at least vocabulary will be easier. Yeah. The other thing is about OET, which I think is great, is it's more than just an English test. If you are planning to migrate to an English-speaking country to practice medicine, this is a really good opportunity to build your language skills. Not just language skills, but also to understand how language is used in medical workplaces in English-speaking countries. Because, for example, the way that you write referral letters may be very different in Australia or the UK compared to where you're from. How you speak to patients, there might be a very different cultural dimension to it, okay? So what the OET is doing, in addition to testing your English skills, they're also preparing you to be a good medical practitioner in terms of your language use in the medical workplace. So yeah, I think it's a great test. And I really do think OET 2.0 is a better test. So if you are thinking umming and ahhing between August and September, actually, I think August ones have already closed. You might want to check the website. Take OET 2.0, fantastic test, really good. I like it. And I'm looking forward to teaching you guys how to pass it as well. Cool, that's all from me. I'm gonna go and keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah, good luck everybody. And I'll see you soon. If you need any help, check out e2language.com.